How you doing?
Was there any discussion at home about 55? Wearing 55?
No, not at all. Really, even if I had the option to like wear 55, I probably wouldn't. Cause I want to make my own footsteps, and I felt like that number is special, and it belongs to my dad, and that's special to his legacy. So, because of those two reasons, I probably wouldn't wear 55.
What's it been like having to kind of follow in his footsteps? Because, on one hand, it probably can open a lot of doors for you, but at the same time, it also creates so many expectations.
Really, I don't. A lot of people look at it as following in his footsteps, but really, what he raised me to do is just following my own footsteps. Really, like create my own footsteps. And yes, I went to Florida State. A lot of people had some expectations over there, but at the same time, I really just made my own name. And Lord willing, I come back, to this team, and be a dream come true, and I'll be looking to do the same thing.
You did this last week with Washington. Is it different here where it's a team, a building you've known and kind of been a part of your whole life?
It's definitely different because I've been around this dang near my whole life. So it's a different feel, and really it just holds something special to be back in this building, and really I have a lot of respect for it. So with that being said, every time I step on the field, every time I step in this building, in the meet room, I'm gonna be my best every day. So it's just really special just to be in this building.
What was it think about that red imputer, that helmet, knowing that?
But I'm sorry.
What was it like to put on that red imputer helmet, knowing that, hey, this is where your dad made his legacy here, and now you have a chance to add to that family legacy as well?
It definitely means a lot. It just to put on that helmet. I was actually thinking about it this morning, and I had the helmet right by my chair, and had Brooks in the front of the helmet. And I'm like, dang, this really crazy. Like I to be honest, I never thought that I would have a chance being back here. Putting on that uniform. So really, it's just a true blessing. It's special. So really, it just means a lot. It holds weight.
But growing up, you never kind of thought, hey, someday.
Yeah, I always said it always was a dream of mine. But really, like as I got older, it's always just been a dream to play for the Bucs. But really, like I had a broad view of it. So really, like if it didn't happen and Lord saw it another way, then I'm fine with it. But it's just surreal now, Like I never had my mind really like set on. I want to be on this team, But if I were to make it on this team, it wouldn't have the same feel. Like it will hold more weight than anything else.
What do you if you do make this team? What do you bring to the Buccaneers organization? What are you going to bring to this already loaded roster?
A great amount of effort every day. A person that's going to give, their absolute best, 110 and more every single day, no matter what's asked of me. To play on special teams, to play on defense, scout team, whatever the coaches need me to do to help this team win, I'll do so. And really, I don't see anybody else outdoing me in that regard. So really, you're just gonna get my best every single day.
Do you allow yourself to kind of get swept up in the emotion, or have those moments where like you're looking at the helmet and oh my gosh, this is the team that I dreamt of playing for? Or is it one of those things that you kind of have to temper that because of the fact that you're here on a tryout, and so tomorrow isn't promised with this team?
So really, it kind of like balanced it out. Like again, as I mentioned before, I had that moment in the morning where I'm like, dang, I'm really putting on this helmet. But at the same time, I do handle it in a professional manner. Whereas I'm going to work, like I'm going to play football. I'm going to meetings, going to practice. Still got to perform. So really, I kind of keep myself at a certain level. Really, never too high, never too low.
What does your dad give you in terms of advice? Obviously, there's not too many dads out there that are fathers or Hall of Famers that have walked the walk and have been here and been through these, the trials and tribulations of the NFL. So, what is maybe the best advice he's given you to prepare you for this opportunity?
Finish everything. Finish like drills. Running to the ball, really harping on the little things, like really making sure like I'm really emphasizing the little details. So that was his advice to me, and that's been his advice to me like my whole life. Like he instilled that in me to finish everything that I do, to really handle the little things, because once you handle little things, then everything else will handle itself. So that's been his advice to me.
What do you think day one went? What do you think day one went for you today? What do you think you showed the coaches on the workout show?
I showed that I can move. I can move from sideline to sideline. I can drop into coverage and really just always around the ball. Yes, there was some mistakes made. First day like everybody else. But it's always things to learn from, and that's the beauty of it. Because nobody's perfect, and if you can't learn from something every day, then something's wrong. You gotta take something that you can harp on and get better on every single day. So I felt like I could go out there and move, really take it to the meet room, to the field, and also willingness to learn from my mistakes.
Of the familiar faces here in the building, Sheldon probably the guy you know best, I guess.
Yeah. Mrs. Sheldon. Mr. Sheldon. I met Coach Foot a while back. My old teammate Devontae. He's here. Also, some people from Florida State that's working the equipment staff in the training room. So really, it again, it's surreal. It's kind of like a small world, but again, it's just God's blessing to put me around like familiar faces. That's how I look at it.
At Florida State, there was a lot of change while you were there. What types of lessons were you able to kind of take from that experience?
I had a lot of lessons, but really, the lessons that I learned at Florida State was really to treat everybody how you want to be treated, for one, because you can't expect somebody to treat you a certain way and you doing the opposite. That's one thing. Two is to really take advantage of every moment. Really be where your feet at, and take advantage of every moment. Take advantage of meetings, talking to coaches, being on the field, just living in the moment, maximizing the opportunity. So I would say really those were the probably the two biggest lessons I learned about being at Florida State.
Sorry, he's got to keep this for us.
All right. Appreciate y'all.